So Trish Nadler is like my person. She's another coach that I call, that I trust, who's really good with systems, which so many people have asked for, the ADHD friendly systems. And she's got a couple clients who are here. And yeah, she just wanted to come on and give, because that's what I always ask for everybody who comes on here, and share like ADHD friendly systems for running a real estate business. So I'm gonna pass that to her for now. And then any other questions you have, put in the chat, and she even did a slideshow because she was just so excited for today for you guys. Because you mentioned you really like images. So she'll do that, and then we'll have time for questions for her at the end. And then the last 5 minutes, then I'll release the link to sign up to be a founding member for ADHD Agent. So I'm going to pass it to Trish. And Trish, if you want to give your bio and just a little bit more about what you've done, because you've done some pretty big stuff and you're very humble. So I'm going to make you tell people first before you start. So yeah, I'm going to pass it to you now. So
I wasn't prepared for a big bio section, Tyler.
Um,
Hey, everybody. I'm Trish. As Tyler said, I'm apparently one of his spirit animals. I'm very glad of that. Nice to meet you all. As Tyler said, I also am a MAPS coach, and I'm excited to be here because in addition to being passionate about coaching, I am really passionate about systems. I have had ADHD my entire life, and I only realized it when I was about 40 because I was told my whole life I absolutely didn't have ADHD. My younger brother did. He was like that kid that spun like a top. He was absolutely obnoxious and had every classic boy symptom. I had every classic girl symptom that nobody recognized in the 80s and 90s. The anxiety, the to-do list, the needing to be in control, which a lot of that leads to building systems. And so everything I gravitated towards in life ended up being systems-based, because that's how I organized my internal chaos. So, you with me so far? I can see one face. Thank you for nodding, by the way, Michelle. Just the way the screen shows, I can literally see only one person at a time. So guys, if you're not with me, like if something isn't making sense, verbally jump in because I won't be able to see you. So, ready to dive into some systems that I think you need in your business? Okay. All right. I am going to share my screen, and then I'm going to put it in slideshow mode, which I hope is going to work. Okay, does everybody see my slideshow? Cool. All right, so ADHD-friendly real estate systems. By the way, did you notice I totally ignored Tyler's bio request? I didn't really mean to. That was my own personal
is that
squirrel.
ADHD?
100%, literally 100%.
You're just focused on helping. It's all good. So now I'm gonna
But
say,
don't worry, I have a slide in here. My husband made me put a slide in about who I am. So in like 30
okay.
seconds, I'll tell you how great I am.
Okay, perfect.
So, okay, welcome. Here's what I'm going to talk to you about today, okay? So ADHD makes it hard to stay on track, right? With your tasks, makes it harder to manage your time effectively, makes it harder to feel organized, makes it harder to remember all the little details. Not every ADHD person has all of that, but a lot of us have most, right? So the counter to that are systems. Systems provide structure, consistency, and organization, leading to lower overwhelm, enhanced time management, and more time spent on things you enjoy. My whole point of systems, by the way, is not to have them. It's so you don't waste your time doing the stuff you don't want to be doing, okay? So my favorite ADHD quote lately is having ADHD is like being a Ferrari with bicycle brakes. So I like to think of myself as a Ferrari. I encourage you all to do that too, or whatever your favorite car is. And remember, you don't have to have bicycle brakes. You can create other brakes. You can create other ways to slow yourself down. To me, that's what systems do. Okay. So why am I here? Why am I talking to you? So this is my lovely family over here, by the way. That's Scott and Vivian and Eleanor. So like I said, I'm a coach. I'm also a trainer. I'm a business consultant to different bigger teams. Also mom to 17-year-old twins who are in the picture. They're in Washington, D.C. right now on their class leadership trip, and they are actively texting me hundreds of pictures. So I have all my sound off on everything because everything in my life is beeping with pictures coming in. Before I got into real estate, I spent 20 years building systems in business. I have my MBA. I'm a certified project manager, ISO 9000 certified, like all the business designations for systems and software. I got into real estate 12 years ago, I think. because I needed a different challenge. Probably like many of you, I like to switch careers up a little bit because I get a little bored. But I've been able to combine the two passions. So I'm really passionate about helping realtors treat real estate like a business. And I just looked through my coaching roster. 75% of my clients have ADHD. So everything I coach to is ADHD relevant, and hopefully every system I design is as well. And we're all our own little neurospiciness. So some systems might work for you, some systems might not, but these are the ones that work for me. So ready to get started? I can see like 4 of you nodding. Thank you, by the way. So Tyler sent out like a little promo with my picture and a bunch of different real estate systems. Those are the ones that I suggested I might talk about. And of course, when you hyper focus on something and you think about what you're going to say, it goes different. So here are the 4 systems I think you need. So if you saw the little promo and you got excited about like transaction management, not talking about that today, sorry. Here are my 4 critical ones. You need a system for time management, one for lead gen, one for your database, and one for tracking. You can build your entire business off of those 4 systems, and then everything else we can build on top of that. So what is a system? A system is a set of interconnected or interdependent components that work together to achieve a specific purpose or function. So if you're going to build a system, know why you're building it, okay? Don't just do it because Gary Keller tells you to do it. Sometimes that's a good idea, but also you want to understand why you're doing what you're doing. So in my opinion, time management is the first system you need. Subtext, for those of you with ADHD, we like to put little parentheses stuff after everything. So my big topic here is time management, but the little thing is stop relying on your willpower or magic to remember your appointments and things that you have to do. Because most of us do that right now. We think we're going to remember everything. We think our brains are going to hold it all. It just doesn't happen. I suspect with ADHD, our brains can hold more than many people's brains can, but the more you hold in your brain, the more overwhelmed you're going to get. So the biggest system I would recommend in real estate to everyone is meet with yourself daily. Every one of my coaching clients, and I know there's several of you on here, I apologize because I probably sound like a broken record. Schedule a 30-minute meeting with yourself every morning until you build the habit of checking in with yourself. What's on your calendar? It's appointments only, by the way, in my opinion. Anybody want to disagree immediately? Do you like putting tasks on your calendar, anybody? Okay, I see some heads going like, no. Good. Calendar, that's your appointments. Projects, oh, I see a hand raised. Okay, thank you for the hand raise. So we don't all have to agree, but I'm passionate about this one. I really think your calendar should have just your appointments so that you never look at your calendar and go, am I going to do this? I don't know, maybe, maybe not. I think your calendar has to be the ones that like you're just absolutely positively going to do. Jason admits I don't use tasks, I wing it. Yeah, so did I for quite some time. And call me afterwards. I'll convince you to use tasks. Seriously. Checklist for your projects. And then over here on the left, the part that I really want to talk to you about is daily tasks. I swear by a system called Todoist. Jennifer uses Asana, also another fantastic one. I tried it. Everybody's got their own version of what works. For me, it's Todoist. For other people, it's something else. But practice these, guys. Just try them to see what's worth it for you. It is absolutely worth having some sort of a system that takes all of the things in your brain and dumps it out so that every morning you can sit down and go, okay, what did I plan to do yesterday? What did my super awesome brain tell me I needed to do? Let me go prioritize that. So here's what Todoist looks like for me. They are not paying me to advertise Todoist, by the way, but I highly recommend go download it. It's free. It's todoist.com, Todoist.com. So every day I see how many tasks I have. So like today, also I did make a sort of a fake one for you guys, so that you don't laugh at all the real things I have to do. Whoops, hang on, I gotta go back. So I have to get my car inspected today. Legitimate, it has to happen. That's why it's in red. That is a priority 1. If I do nothing today, I have to get that done. I need to spend an hour working on my website. I need to spend an hour creating my new client hub for my coaching clients. I have to remind my daughter to return her library books. I need to plan my guest list for my October event, right? These are all the things that I know I need to do today. If I get them out of my brain, I sleep better. I'm less anxious. Life goes better, all the things. Mindy is very honest. She had Todoist. She deleted it because she never used it. Mindy, I love it so freaking much. My contact info will be at the end. If you need any help using it, literally reach out. I will walk you through it. Here's why I really like it, guys. This panel on the left that's outlined in orange, this is how you create a new task for yourself. So I created a task, finalize presentation for ADHD group, right? You see underneath that, I assigned it today, and I could have given it a priority. I could set a reminder that would actually show up on my calendar. It can, ding for you. But every morning when you come in and look at all the things you said you were going to do, if you look at it and say, that's not going to happen today, you just literally come into this panel. It's one click of a thing. Just put it to tomorrow, put it next week, take the time off of it. Then you're getting everything out of your head and you're saying, here's my actual plan for the day, rather than letting all those emails that come in drive how you're spending your time. Todoist does integrate with Google Calendar and other commonly used tech apps and sites. Yes, Dan, it absolutely does. I do not integrate it myself. In coaching, I have too many back-to-back meetings, so I don't want all my tasks showing up on my calendar. What I do is I put a block on my calendar for, it's literally called do all my stupid Todoist stuff. So I've got, this meeting 2 hours ago, I had an hour that was do all my stupid Todoist stuff. And then I will literally open it up and start at the top and say, oh, yep, okay, I need to schedule that car inspection and plan my life that way. Any questions on this system so far? Okay, the chat questions are great, by the way.
And I was going to say one thing too. I don't know if I told you this, Trish. So
Yeah.
one of the just with cameras, I've told everybody cameras are optional, and because some people they listen better while they're walking or doing something. So if you don't get a lot of nods, it
Yeah.
doesn't mean okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, please. Thank you, everybody. No, Tyler, when I was starting, it was literally like, is there anyone, like, is it working? So thank you, guys.
Oh, because maybe the screen wasn't set up where you could see everybody. Okay, I just wanted to
Correct.
throw that out there that it's yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, turn your cameras off. I'm not looking at you, and I hate cameras myself.
Yep. Stim
Just
away, fidget away if you
please,
need to.
please. Yes, no. Don't turn your cameras on. I'm adoring the little chat thingy because then if you have a question, I can immediately see it. And besides, we all have ADHD. We got to be doing 3 things at once, right? Okay, so next one. So this is like quick overviews of systems, guys. If there's ever an interest in going deeper into one of these, I'm happy to. This is literally my passion in life, is helping people figure out systems that work for them. So to me, this is a great system. And 80% of my clients now use it, and all of them are liking it. So yes, you can absolutely share this with your assistant. You can absolutely share this with your family. You can share projects with people. You can create shared spaces where tasks go back and forth. I have a full-time assistant that works with me, and we have a project where she assigns tasks to me. I assign them back to her. It's delightful because we're never assigning each other things over text or an email. It all goes in one place, and I can see everything that she's doing, and I can see when she's checking them off. Or if she's in the middle of a task and she has a question, she can like hit me back with another task. And if I have time, I just respond right back with the answer. So I love it. Sarah, the system is called Todoist, TODOIST.com. It is free. If you prefer the like businessy version where you can have as many projects as you want, I think it's $3 a month. That's the one I use, but the free one worked for me for 2 years. Okay, moving on. Lead gen. Here's where I get in trouble sometimes. I firmly believe you should be doing lead gen the way you want to. You should do what you love. You should not be doing all the things everybody else tells you you should do. Okay? So your energy matters when you're lead genning. If you are trying to have conversations with people, if you're trying to convince them that you are wonderful and awesome and they want to do business with you, and you're doing something you hate, you really can't do it. I mean, you can, and then you get exhausted at the end of the day. So collectively, please, let's just stop doing the stuff we hate, but you still have to do stuff. So across my clients, here are the things that work for them. And I'm going to show you my system for the last piece of this, the weekly plan, okay? So in general, across everybody I work with, social media. Leverage your hyper focus. If you can hyper focus for 4 hours on social media and create videos and post them and comment on other people's, stuff, you're going to be out there for other people. It's amazing. Get out there, do fun things. So I used to run the largest team in Western New York. I was the CEO of the team. And to join my team, you had to tell me 2 fun social activities that you do on a regular basis. You go to the gym, you belong to a church, you volunteer, you have this, committee that you're on. Because to me, that was the most effective lead gen. I really never wanted people who just wanted to cold call because, yeah, that's good. You can definitely cold call. But I couldn't teach you how to be more engaging and everything. I could teach you how to network the heck out of your social events. So for me, social media, getting out there, have conversations. This is another one that I'm kind of passionate about. Stop calling. Tyler, you can jump in and tell me to be quiet here if you want me to. But
I think it's good to have other like other voices, people
okay,
resonate with different people. So be
good.
yourself and somebody might resonate with you more than me, who knows? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So here's my stop calling reason. I don't think you need to stop having conversations. I think you need to stop calling people who don't want to talk to you. Text them instead. And then when they engage, call them. You'll have a reason to call them. But so many people, especially with ADHD, are call resistant, right? We have rejection sensitivity dysphoria. We have, all the things like that. We want to be perfectionists and we can never come up with the perfect script or the exact right thing to say. Like I can't design a system for that because I can't convince myself to do it. But I could text the heck out of any of you. I could think of a million reasons to text somebody. There's less resistance there. So if that works, stop calling, just text. The whole point of my system thought here, guys, is make a system that works. Don't let it stop you. So host events, mini events, that's cool too. But the system I really like for lead gen is your weekly plan. When you come up with the things that work for you, write it out and then meticulously hold yourself to doing it. So here's a little one that this I developed for my team ages ago, and multiple ones of my clients have refined this for me. So there's no magic in our list here, but it's just a general list for people. So, have 30 minutes of planning and well, I can't even see what the rest of that says because the Zoom window's in the way. Planning and reflecting once a week. The green section here is building relationships. So plan who you're going to call or text. Then have the phone or in-person conversations. Tell yourself how many you're going to have and then go do that. Plan how many text conversations you want to have, then go do those. Have face-to-face meetings. Guys, most of you are probably awesome face-to-face. Have lots of those, right? The blue section is meeting new people. So you have to build relationships with the people you already like. You have to meet new people, just fact of real estate, right? So my deal with people on my team is you have to pick 2 among the blue. So you have to network, you have to go to gyms, social events. You have to do open housing, open houses, open housing. I might have just created a new verb. You can cold call. You can send out golden letters. You can take incoming paid leads. And I saw somebody on here, by the way, say something like you're not going to stop doing partnering with Zillow, but you have to bring a good attitude. You're 100% right. Yeah. Whatever it is you like to do, it's going to come through. If you like Zillow, keep doing it. And then down at the bottom, this isn't lead gen, but I left it on here just so you could see. I think the lead gen produces the rest of these activities, adding people to your database, reviewing who's active, hot, nurture, watch, whatever categories you use. Also posting on social media, commenting on people's social media posts. Those are super critical. So this is the list that we use on my team and a lot of my clients use, and then we change it to work for them. So this is a super basic system to hold yourselves accountable to here's what I said I was going to do this week, and am I getting it done? It's just a Google sheet. You can create, any Google sheet that you want that works for this. Any questions on chat over this one? Okay, cool. All right. Database. There aren't too many people on camera, so I'm not going to ask you to nod. But show of hands, who loves their database? Who's proud that you really master your database? Anybody? Okay, 2 people. Congratulations, by the way. So few realtors think they're amazing at their database. And I think it's because it can get a little overwhelming. So, um, my thought on a database system is really make it yours. I want to give you an example of Mindy, you hate your database, it needs cleaning. Yeah, show of hands, how many people hate their database? Okay, those are coming a lot faster. Yeah. Okay. So database is the number one thing when someone gets into coaching, they say they need to work on, by the way. They hate their database. It's overwhelming. It needs cleaning. They don't know what's in it. Yes, it's really a data bank. Absolutely. So here's the thing. Make it yours. Throughout every bit of database work I've ever done, and most of it was not in the real estate industry, right? You need to know who you know and who you don't know in your database. So if you're going to clean your database, the system that any software company would recommend to you, all the sales organizations that use Salesforce, is the first thing you do is you divide your database into your Mets and unmets. So whatever system you use, you might tag Mets and unmets, you might have a category for them. However you do it with whatever database, you should really have a very clear understanding. Like if I came up to you at family reunion and said, hey, how many people that you know or that are in your database? You want to know that number. I have 500 that I've met and I have 5,000 that I don't know who they are, right? Know the difference because you're going to treat them really different, whether you know them or you don't know them. And then for the people that you've met, what you want to have down at the bottom here, you want to have accurate data. So phone, email, address, that kind of stuff, right? Notes about them. What do you know about these people? Tags, so you can sort them. Reminders, so you know what you're doing next. Because in most database kind of programs, you really should have a next step for every single person in there that you know, even if that next step is, I'm just going to invite them to my pie party, or I'm going to follow the DTD2 and call them in 6 months, right? And then some sort of smart plan content for generic stuff. That could be your newsletter, or that could be invites to events and stuff like that. Okay. So I want to show you the bad picture and then the good picture, just so you can see how you might systematize this, okay? All right, so this is a picture of what you don't want in your database. Top right-hand corner is just a list of people. And as you'll see in this one, I don't know if they're buyers or sellers. There's one B right there. That means that person's a buyer. The rest, no clue. We don't know what their intent is. And then if you look at their status, I've got a bunch of unqualified and new people, right? They're all in this new lead status. And then over on the far right, the grayed out things show that I don't have email addresses or I don't have phone numbers in there. So if your database looks like this, if you can't find email addresses, phone numbers, you've got a ton of people that are in the unqualified and the new, and you just don't know who they are, that's a perfect opportunity. Just separate them that way. You can easily go through, right? And be like, unmet, unmet, I don't know them, I don't know them. Just tag them all as I just don't know them. Then set them to the side and just work on the people that you know, okay? On the left-hand screen here is just an example of somebody that I don't know. I met this actual real live person at Mega Camp in 2023. And as you can see, I've done nothing with this. If any of you know her, apologies for picking her. But I was just going through and looking at my own database of like, well, here's someone I met. They're new lead unqualified. And down at the bottom, you can see I've changed the status from new to watch and watch to unqualified, but I couldn't tell you anything about this person or why I even did it, right? So that doesn't help. I'm going to show you the good system in a sec, but I've got a couple questions here, so let me really check. Christina, yes. Your question is, it's a little overwhelming. So should you go off your notes in social media and then put notes, like your conversations on social media, and put notes in the ones you've engaged with? 100%. Yep. I think that's a fantastic idea. If you're having conversations with people outside of your CRM, yes, 100%. Bring some of that in so you can at least say who you know and who you don't know in there. So, Michelle, your question, should you archive people with no notes and unmets? Yeah. If not, you're literally just working on a white pages, you know? You just have a list of unknown people. I would. So you can get started on getting to know people in your database. So here's a real example. This is all stuff from one profile. I had to cut it up so you guys could see it. Okay. But over here on the left, Connie Alberts is in my sphere. I registered her this morning. It's a fake person. But this is what I want to show you. Like, this is a real example. She's in the nurture stage. In my database, that means she doesn't have a immediate real estate need, but she might in the future. Okay. And I know when she does, she'll be both a sell and a buy because she lives in my neighborhood. This is a real person. Okay. So then if you look up top, or no, look in the middle where it says description. So Connie and her husband, Mike, live 2 doors down from Jen Richards. I met them at Jen's 40th birthday party. They have an English golden doodle named Kramer. Again, real person. So I tagged them with dog and neighbor because the next time I throw an event at a dog park, I'm going to filter by everybody that has the tag of dog, and I'm going to personally invite them. And all of those people are going to be delighted because they know that I know they're dog people. I don't have a dog, I have cats, but everybody loves being known as a dog person or a cat person, right? Same thing with neighbor. Every time I want to throw a party in my neighborhood, I literally just hit filter neighbor and I have a list of everybody in my neighborhood. The reason a system in your database matters so much is it just makes your life so much easier. Yeah. Okay. So last piece on this one, and this is why I really, really think databases matter. I ran into Connie at the farmer's market on August 8th. They're doing landscape work on the front of their house this fall. So I'm always looking for a reason to have a conversation with somebody, right? Just like you guys. So she mentioned this at the farmer's market. So I set myself a task, bottom right here, drive by Connie's house to see her landscaping and send her a text afterwards telling her how nice it is. I set that for August 3rd because she said she was going to do it in September sometime. So guys, the point of this is without a system in your database, you'd be like, oh, cool. Connie's going to do her landscaping. I'll remember to reach out to her. None of us remember to reach out to people when we say that. We mean to. We're good people. We absolutely mean to. But use your database to give yourself tasks like this. This is exactly what it's there for. Question. Okay, you guys have a great amount of questions here. Thank you, thank you. And Michelle, you're welcome. You can have permission to archive people you don't know. Really. Focus on the people you do know, and then you just start building out from there. Okay. I used to feel incredibly guilty about archiving people, but the fact of the matter is they're not adding business and they don't want spam emails from me or you. So yeah, get rid of them. Start with the people you know that like you and trust you, and then just keep adding to your database every single time. Question, how much time do you realistically think someone new to this system should set aside daily for database stuff? Is that your question? I don't know. I would spend as much time as you can in your database. To me, it's probably the most important thing you do. So I would challenge yourself to add 5 people to your database a day until you run out of people that you know. So you're probably going to go, well, how would I add people to my database, right? I swear by index cards. Obviously, I have them on my desk at all times. If you are new to this and you're trying to build your database, grab some index cards and write one person on each index card until you can't do it anymore. Your doctor, your dentist, every one of your neighbors, people you grew up with, your aunts and uncles, like literally add everybody and then add them into your database. Yeah. Jason works on it for 30 to 45 minutes when he cleans his stuff up. Yeah. I think that's a fantastic idea. To me, my database is always the first thing that I do. It sets the tone for the entire day. And if you notice on that weekly system that I had, you had to review your hots, actives, warms, nurtures, whatever. I'm already in my database when I'm doing that. I'm cleaning people up on the database, and then I can review everybody that's in those statuses. And it gives that reminder of, oh, here's people I should be talking to. And then that sets your schedule for the entire day. Cool. All right. Any last questions on database? I want to be respectful of your time. Yes, it is wholly scary to start going through massive amounts of people. But if you do 10 a day, if you do 20 a day, if you do 100 a week, whatever you can do, just make sure you tag them as done so that you don't review the same people over and over and over again. And then you can filter by everyone who doesn't have that tag or something like that in your database. Give yourself clear indication that you reviewed someone so you don't go back and do it. All right. um, you absolutely can maintain your database when you're doing the DTD2. Yep. So if you set yourself, that's another question. So if you set yourself the task to go through the H's and the Q's this week or whatever the letters are, review those people in the database this week. It's a perfect time to do it. And that means if you're on the 3-month schedule, you'll have your whole database reviewed within 3 months. If you're on a 6-month DTD2 schedule, you'll have your whole database reviewed in 6 months. And you will be so much better off than where you are today. Seriously. I think reviewing my database and getting super clear with it probably changed my real estate business more than anything else. Because then every time I looked at it, I was like, yeah, I own this. This is mine. Like, this is good. It works for me, rather than having that shame of like, oh, it's a wreck. I don't know what to do. So you're worth it. Do it. Okay, last system for you, tracking. This is the one I'm most passionate about because I came from an industry where we lived off of spreadsheets. So I absolutely firmly believe, again, with the shame thing, know your numbers. They're hard to know sometimes, and they're hard to accept sometimes, but track. Everything you measure gets managed. Because if you know you are spending $8,000 a month in your business, and then you see your GCI and you've got a couple months where you're only bringing in 6,000, well, then you immediately go, huh, got a problem. Maybe I need to cut some expenses. Or I need to hustle and go get another transaction. So knowing those numbers helps you manage every aspect of your business. By the way, this is my favorite little cute graphic here. I think you can all understand with the ADHD, like want to make it pretty. I imported an actual spreadsheet and I put it in that little computer thing right there. So pretty proud of myself. Um, Let me show you what a spreadsheet can look like to track. Again, super simple. Show of hands, do you guys all have something like this already? Some of you do. Okay, most of you do not. Got it. All right, for those of you that do not, my contact info is at the end here. Happy to share any of the templates that I use and show you how to use them. This is a customized formula-based spreadsheet that I use with most of my clients, to be honest, and my own real estate team. It is super easy to use. Everything with the blue headings and then white columns, you just add in whenever you have a transaction, right? So if you look at this one, you can pick anyone. I'm looking at a transaction that went into pending on June 11th. It's closed. It's on Sunset Road, 250,000, 3% GCI. It was a seller. Carrie was the agent, and it came from a referral. So then in yellow, all of the money calculates for you. So we just literally multiply it out, figure out how much you have to pay to KW, figure out what you get, figure out what you set aside for taxes. And then the little inset thing with current numbers is based on what you put in here, it'll track for you. So when you go to an ALC meeting or you're talking to your grandmother or whatever it is, and someone says, oh, how many transactions have you had this year? Your answer doesn't have to be, let me go check command. I'm not really sure. You could just like literally hit your little Google Sheet thing and be like, oh, 37. I'm at 10 million in volume and I've got 3 million volume pending. So it gives you a layer of confidence because you're already doing the work. This kind of system just allows you to know it and feel confident that you're on top of all of your numbers. Yep. So yes, Jennifer, I agree. What doesn't get tracked doesn't get measured. It is a simple Google sheet. It is not an Excel spreadsheet. Deliberately do everything in Google. I do, so I can share it with anybody and you don't have to have Excel. This is an editable spreadsheet, so I can send this link out. And like somebody said, the beauty of it is you can customize this however you want. So I have hidden half the columns in here because people track all sorts of things. So this was just to show you some of the basics that it can calculate your numbers and give you like, easy to see summary of your business. So I will get this over. Okay. This is kind of the end. So here's my takeaways for you. Your systems should work for you. If you have systems that don't work for you, stop using them. And for each of these systems, don't rely on your willpower. Have the system work for you. Your willpower is going to take you to here. And for everybody, we all want to be up here. So your willpower will get you part way, and then you need a system or a habit or something to get you even further. Do what you love, not what you should, specifically for lead gen, but also for your systems. I love Todoist. If you don't, please don't use it. Find another to-do list thing. It could be the reminders on your phone. It could be tasks on your calendar. I personally hate it. You might love it, but do what you love. And your database can and should be your best friend. Um, your database should make your life so easy. If you are not at that stage, that's exactly where you should be spending your time. Is figuring out a way to make your database something so that when you look at it, you're like, I am on top of the world. I totally know all the people in here. This is fantastic. And then last but not least, as Jennifer said, what gets measured gets managed. So there's my contact info. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff I love. Tyler, thanks for having me on to share it with everybody. Super
Yeah,
appreciate it.
thanks for coming. So, yeah, I have a couple questions for you. So,
Sure.
if I can, and then anybody else can jump in. So, type in the chat, or like raise your hand, if you want. Oh my gosh, these comments are so nice,
I know.
beautiful. Thank you so
Making
much.
my
You make
day.
all the sense in the world. Yeah, that's wonderful. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is thank you for being here, Trish, and just giving different voices. And um so I love that you did database, right?
Yeah,
As part of the systems, which I mean, that's what Gary says over and over again is, your database is your business. So
it really is.
also, right, we can have the executive function stuff where it's hard sometimes I mean, it can feel like this big project, it can feel overwhelming.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
what do you think? Let's say somebody, I mean, when we want to break it down, right? Let's say, to everybody listening, let's say you did, like you really broke it down, took it slow, did piece by piece, and you got your database
Mhm.
good. How long do you think it would take to really see results? And, on average, let's say somebody's got 400 people in their database on that, how many more sales do you think they would get?
I have actual data on this. I
And we
challenge.
didn't, well, we didn't even set this up. I was
Yep.
like,
Nope.
I hope this
Nope.
isn't too
Nope.
much of
Nope.
a humdinger. Okay,
No, no, no.
cool.
I wish I had the actual, like, you know me, I love spreadsheets. So I have like percentages and everything. I challenged all of my clients at the beginning of this year to go through their databases and actually start cleaning up and start contacting people. Um, so every single client that I work with has found business in their database equivalent to 10% or more of their typical yearly sales. So if you typically do 40 transactions a year, by cleaning up your database and starting to get back in contact with people you weren't, you'll find at least 4 more. A lot of them, a lot more. But it's been hilarious. Um, we'll talk one week and I'll be like, come on, you can do it. Like, just start going through, like, on your DTD2, just start with the A's, like, start going through the people, archive the ones you don't know, just go look for some phone numbers and then just text people, just reach out. Every single person comes back literally the next week and goes, yeah, so that worked. I have $1 million listing. Or, huh, yeah, I reconnected with people and now I've got a new buyer. It works. Truly. Good enough of an answer?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay.
So for somebody that gets super overwhelmed,
Yeah.
because I mean, I'm gonna admit some. And if anybody's wondering, my webcam just is not working, so it's
Oh,
kind of being a silly goose right now. So I'm gonna reveal something. I mean, I had a huge team, right? I mean, we're having a sale a day, Monday through Friday for the whole year. Database was super overwhelming, so I went into FSBO expired, uh, because I get overwhelmed of what to say. It was really scripty, I guess. Like, what, 10 years ago, there wasn't this conversation of be authentic and do what feels right and care about. I mean, we had a little bit, but it was really more, I think, the more formal. And so I just remember getting so overwhelmed and like shutting down with database and just avoiding
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
What do
Completely.
you recommend to people that just literally feel like they can't start like I was?
Go to the body double thing. Do you still have that body double page, Tyler?
Yeah, yeah. In KW ADHD, we have
Yeah.
the Facebook group. We have a body double Zoom room that you can basically just coordinate in the chat and then just hop in the Zoom room and do it at the same time as somebody else. So If
Yeah.
did you explain body doubling, what that is for anybody who hasn't heard of it before? Yeah, we got some
Ah,
questions.
okay. Tyler can explain this better than I can, but let me try. So body doubling is basically like when you know you need to do something, but you absolutely just can't get started. Sometimes if you have somebody just sitting next to you, you could get things done. So the Tyler's Body Double Zoom room is basically, I know I need to clean up my database. Is there anybody else out there that also is cleaning up their database? Let's just hop on together and simultaneously get our work done. Totally works. And I'd be happy to host a body double, clean up your database on a regular basis if you guys want. Because it will change your business. It really will. And it's absolutely worth it. And it's super easy. No, the work of it isn't easy, but showing up is easy and you can make it fun. Um, we used to have like incentives on my team when we started cleaning up our databases of like the most hilarious things we could find in there, or the person with the most people that we had just no clue who they were the funniest names, stuff like that. So make a game out of it at the same time. Um, but literally just start at the top, see how many people you can go through until you're done, then stop. Don't push yourself too far. Like if you can go through 10 people and correct their info and archive the ones you don't know, and then that's it, cool. Come back the next time you've got some free time and do a few more. It's a great activity for sitting on the couch while your family's watching football games with the computer. That's how I used to get it done.
Yep.
There's a great question in there. I
Yeah,
struggle
take the questions. Yeah,
yeah,
go
I
for it.
struggle with what to say in a text to reconnect. What would you text? Okay. So multiple different things. You have to do something you're comfortable with. But Siobhan's idea of hey, I was thinking about something and it made me think about you. I thought I'd send a text to say hello and see how you're doing. I think that is absolutely perfect. However, you can authentically say, I saw this thing, it made me think about you, and I wanted to reach out. In the history of the universe, nobody gets offended by that kind of thing. Even if it's been 6 years, even if it's been 15 years, people are delighted to hear something made you think about them. Um, and we all have that rejection fear or, oh no, I didn't stay in contact enough. That past client from 6 years ago, they're going to think I'm so inauthentic. They're going to hate me. I did. No, they're not. Honestly, they're really not. Trust me, because I've done it. I ignored all my clients for like 5 years and I finally got back in contact and they were all delighted to hear from me. Your clients are not going to be any different than mine. Just reach out. Just tell them I saw something, made me think of you. I'm excited. That's it.
Can
Does that
I
work?
ask a question about that real quick?
Yeah.
So I want to do that. I want to call people and be like, hey, I was thinking about you. And then in the back of my mind and like what always comes out of my mouth, like I can't even help it, is like, so who do you know? Who's thinking of buying or selling? And I just I don't want to go there. I want it to just be like the casual, hey, how you doing? I've been thinking about you, period. And then stop the sentence and shut the hell up. And like, is
Yeah.
that bad? Is it bad to go there on the first call back, after 10 years of not talking to someone like, hey, I was thinking about you because I want some business and I know that you know people.
If it works for you and it sounds natural, go for it. It wouldn't be natural for me, but that doesn't mean it isn't a good idea for somebody else. I almost never am authentic in asking for business. I'm really bad at it. I'm one of those agents that can only attract. I'm very bad at asking. I never recruit new coaching clients because I never ask. It's the same thing. I just want people to reach out to me. So I don't think I could say, who do you know? But I can definitely do things like, oh, I was thinking about you. We have a nice chit chat, whatever, whatever. And then I like would say something like, God, it is so good to reconnect with you. I love working with people like you. Make sure you tell all your friends. I need cool people. To me, that sounds more like me. But if you can say, who do you know that's looking for a great realtor? Please do that. Does that make sense?
It doesn't sound inauthentic though. Like, cause it does kind of roll off. Like, but then I feel like I'm being pushy. And then what do I talk about the next time? Like, am I gonna forget that I asked them that last time and then ask them that again next time? Now they're gonna think every time I call, that's what I'm gonna be asking for. Like these are the ruminations.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Your ADHD brain can go like this, like mine does too, right? There are some people that ask that on every call and they're incredibly authentic. and their clients understand it and know that's what they're going to ask and they don't mind. So if it rolls off your tongue, I say try it. Um, and if it doesn't roll off your tongue, find something else that does, or don't ask. Just reconnect. You never know.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right, we got a couple other questions. Let me check. Did I mention setting up a training on Todoist? Yeah, I absolutely will. I'll coordinate with Tyler and then we'll do a Todoist training. I'm on a mission to convert the
Yeah.
entire world to Todoist. I think it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah. Well,
Have a
and I
2-year-old
mean,
kid use it.
I'll learn a little bit more from you too about that too. So, I mean, yeah, you were so willing to come on here. So if we want to do a round two at some point, we can do that.
So a couple of you have asked what database I use. Brivity. Please understand it is no better than any other one. Just happens to be the one I found 7 years ago. So there are a ton of great databases out there, including Command. And you got to find the one that works for you. If you have created negative mindset around the current database that you're using and you are fully resisting it and you can afford a couple $100s a month, one of your system hacks may be that you port your database over to somewhere else and get started there. Because if you guys are like me, sometimes you need a change of space, you need a new couch, you need a whatever it is to convince yourself that that's a good room or a good database. And if that's what it takes and you can afford it, do it. But if not, you can make your database work no matter where you are. Yep. There were a couple questions in here as well that are like, what would you say to somebody that you met at an open house and you haven't been in contact? So I typed it in here, but I'll just speak it as well in case anybody else has a similar one. My personal script would be something like, hey, we met at an open house 3 years ago. I'm going through all my old notebooks. I saw your name. And I remember we talked about, the alpaca farm you wanted to start. I just wanted to check, did you find a house? And then I would leave it there. There's no right or wrong, but I try not to overcomplicate it. Just thought of you. Here's the thing, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I see a hand raised.
I
Alina?
noticed that you listed like micro events as one of your
Yes.
categories. And that is something that I really want to go like more into because I tend to do a lot of like larger events, but I do better in smaller settings in terms of like getting to know people at a deeper level and like not feeling like I have to entertain every single person. So I'm curious if you would be willing, Tyler, sorry if I'm overstepping, to do like another thing on that at
Go
some point.
for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll come back definitely and talk micro events and I can share a lot of the successes that some of my clients are having. But the theory is that if you're a newer agent or even if you're a very experienced agent and you want to supplement what you're doing, there's no reason why you have to spend $5,000 to do a huge blowout client event. You could have, 10 ladies over to drink wine and paint pottery or, whatever it is, and you get probably the same number of authentic conversations as you would as if you had a massive party. So that's the concept behind the micro events. Just it should be things you like to do. And I'll come back or just reach out and I'll share what I know about them.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
of
you.
course. Sure, sure. Another question, what if you don't have any notes about your old open house leads to say to them? Make something up. Just, think of something generic. Hey, I met you at an open house. Hopefully you've written down the open house, and you can remember it had 4 bedrooms, or met you at this open house. And I remember, I think you were looking for a 4-bedroom house. Did you find one? Just make something generic like that is what I would do. Again, just go in with confidence, even if you don't have it, because people like to be remembered. And honestly, what's the worst they can do? Hang up on you. They'll correct you. Yes. Ileana, they'll correct you and you can pivot. Exactly. Or the absolute worst, they can say, you slimy, horrible salesperson, why are you calling me? And then you go take a shower and you're done. It's never going to be any worse than that. And in all my experience of working, I'm a full-time coach, so I work with like 40 people a week. I've never heard that happen to anybody. Maybe once. So it'll be way better than you think. Back there were some questions about integrating databases. If you use a database outside of Command, if you happen to be a KW agent, yes, you'll have to do some rework. To me, it's worth it. To other people, it probably not. But if you, okay, so somebody else asked for like a little database plan. For those of you that want some homework right now, start with the A's. Pick 10 people at the top of the A's and go through and see what you know about those people. Write a description for them, number one. Check to see if you know their email and phone number, physical address, and then check to see if you're connected with them on social media. Just 10 people. Start like literally the first person on your thing, as long as they're not fake names. Pick 10 real people and then see what you can do for those 10. And then if you haven't recently had a conversation with them, text them or direct message them on your social media platform of choice and just tell them you were thinking about them. See what comes out of it. See what kind of energy you get. Because if you can build the positive energy with it, you usually end up having less resistance to doing it again tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Last question, I think, because they're slowing down. So if you have to delete people from your database, what would your criteria be to delete them? Melissa, I don't know if you're on audio, but could I push this back on you? What would your criteria be?
So mine were people who like came to the open house. I got a phone number and an email address. Maybe one of them worked, maybe both of them worked. But I've got lots of people that like I'm just not connecting with. And so it's kind of like I've got this big scary number in my DTD2, and I feel like that makes me have like some reluctance to do it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I need to get in here and just clean people up. But then I have FOMO on, well, what if they decide to just, I don't know, talk to me in 6 months? So that's kind of where I'm coming from. That's what's getting me held up.
Okay. So I know you, and I know you're good at reaching out to people. So here's my personal criteria is I don't know who they are. I have no recollection of meeting them. I have no idea of how we connected, why we connected, and I've reached out and they've never responded. To me, that's my deletion criteria. If they've responded, I'll keep them in there. But I might not put them on a full DTD2 plan. Also, full disclosure, I'm a big fan of twice a year DTD2, not 4 times a year. I think that makes it a little bit less scary. So that brings your number down a little bit.
That's interesting. I
know.
appreciate you giving. Well, it's like some people don't do it at all, or it feels overwhelming, or you miss a week, and then it's like, man, I messed up the whole pattern. What do I do
Yep.
now?
Yep.
I think this is realistic because something is way better than nothing.
Yeah.
And I mean, especially with our conversion rates with ADHD. I mean, as a coach for 7 years, I don't know if you noticed this. I mean, it takes half the amount of contacts for the same amount of sales for ADHD agents. Like,
Absolutely.
we'll do some more calls on the gifts, but we have really intuitive, just authentic. People trust us, just altruistic and
Yep.
high emotional intelligence, and so
Yeah.
I think you could do half of DTD2 and do the same or more amount of business somebody doing it all four times that doesn't have ADHD, you know?
I would put money on that. I really do. Everybody that I know that has ADHD connects amazing, or not everybody. I talk in absolutes all the time, sorry. But yes, you're going to connect better. So don't hound people. Here's my reason I don't do DTD2 4. I only do it twice. There are very few people in this world that I want to talk to 4 times a year. I'm super nice and chatty on a call like this, and I really like talking to people. And then I want to go home and not talk to anybody for a very long time. So if my phone rings or I get a text, like I better really like you. So I can't think of anybody I've had a transaction with or done business with or whatever that I actually want random texts from. Certainly no random phone calls. So I had to go authentically. I don't want to hear from you that many times. So I'm assuming you don't want to hear from me because that was how I convinced myself that it was okay to do it. So if you just do it twice, it's way better than pretending you're doing it 4 times. I'm looking at Mindy's face and she's like, yes, Mindy, it's real. It's true. And also in your case, you met with somebody, they used another agent to buy or sell their house, and you've been reaching out and they don't respond. Girlfriend, delete those people. If you needed permission, flush them out of your life and go get people that want to work with you. That's one of the things that holds ADHD realtors back. You guys know that, right? If you get rejected by enough people, you will start to think that everyone is going to reject you. So if you notice in your database, there's a lot of people that don't respond, go reach out to the people that do respond. Fill your cup back up with that so that you have those emotional reserves so you can reach out to the next group rather than just beating yourself against that wall.
Thank you for being here. And yeah, do what works for you. Yeah. And we'll have Trish again back for sure. I'll make her come back if she's too busy. We'll find out. No.
Will I do anything for you?
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, have a good one, everybody. Thank you so much and appreciate you. All right. All right. Take
Bye,
care.
all.